Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo time trial. This week we're at Monza in that Lamborghini Murcielago LP 640. Yes, we're an Italian manufacturer, an Italian track. On sports medium tyres, the key thing here is to brake very early, and the goal estimate I've put around a 153.1. Lots of time to be gained here this week just due to the nature of this car. Braking early, accelerating really early out of corners as well to really carry the speed through the corner. You are going to suffer some understeer here, so you are going to have to be careful, but you need to venture to the like button and subscribe button right now before we get into that guide. So you've got a couple of seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Right, okay, it's time to jump into this lap guide then as we begin here. We're going to head towards turn number 1. As always, you can follow this lap's ghost on the leaderboard. Just look for the time that I'll show you at the end. And on the left-hand side here for turn 1 is White Van Man. Yes, it's back there. So we've got a load of parked cars here. The White Van is very obvious here. It's well before the 200. Highly advise you use this as a brake marker. I brake just after it here. You can see where that is on chase cam, but I brake just after it here as we go in towards turn 1. I dropped to first gear, okay? I'm going to cut a lot of the inside here. I want to go towards the left-hand side. Avoid the sausage if you can. Be very aggressive on the throttle in that one, okay? On the exit, because you really want to get the power down early and just go out the corner, as you saw right there. Through the Curva Grande here, and it's flat out here, and we're in 4th gear right now as we head towards the next corner. Now, we are braking very early for this one, so what we're looking for is that 200 board on the right-hand side, and I'm braking just before it, in fact. You can see I've just got on the brakes right now, down at the bottom there of this guide. Now, we'll see where it is on chase cam, because you may be able to use the bush on the left-hand side. No, it is just still the 200 board there, and you can see where I'm braking. See the brake lights on right now, and we're going to drop to 2nd gear. Now, you want to brake earlier for this one, because you can abuse the sausages and the track limits here a little bit. This car very wide, so you see I turned in early and tried to straighten up as much as possible. Lots of time to be gained there. As we head towards Lesmo 1 then, on the right side, I've highlighted 2 trees. There's a gap between them, okay? And that's what I use as my brake marker, trying to go towards the second one. There is a shadow on the left-hand side that I've also marked there. You can see that on chase cam. I'm not sure whether that shadow's always there, but on this particular lap, it was a very nice brake marker, so maybe you want to use that instead of the trees, but I use the trees. I keep a nice tight line here, and what I'm looking for there is the orange painted barrier, just the end of it there. And there's a runoff area if you want to use that instead. Very obvious accelerating marker here. For those wondering why I'm pointing it out, it's an accelerating marker. So when you get close to that, start accelerating, and you should make it out of the corner absolutely fine. We head to the second, one of the Lesmos then, and on the right side, we've got basically a group of trees, a gap, and then this first tree right here. And I'm using that as a reference point here, but I'm braking before I get to it. Before it hits the edge of my screen on the right-hand side, you can see it more clearly there on chase cam. And you want to brake early for this corner. I found braking too late would just compromise the load. So brake early, even let the car roll, and as you clip the curb on the inside, start accelerating in 2nd gear. Try and avoid the slippy stuff on the exit. It will slow you down in this car, and it is a wide car, remember. You do have to keep that in mind. This Lamborghini is huge. We're going to head towards the Ascari then, and what we're looking for is on the right-hand side there. It's a 200 board, and I'm braking bang on the 200 board for this one. So as it hits the edge of my screen, is when I'm going to hit the brakes. Now, I'm going to go down to 2nd gear and short shift to 3rd for Ascari, okay? Now, you want to turn in early. The whole point of this one, you want to try and straighten as much as you can. So we're going to drop to 2nd gear here. There we go. We turn in, and then we short shift to 3rd gear. So we get over towards the right-hand side. We lift a little bit here, and then we turn in early for the left. Remember, this car's very wide, so you can cut quite a lot of that left-hander, and then we continue on through there. It's all about momentum, keeping the car going forward, and you saw that right there. We're going to head towards the final corner then, the Parabolica, and what we're looking for is the 150 board on the right-hand side. That is your brake marker for the Parabolica. It's just before it, in fact, and you can see that right here. But I would argue that you could probably brake on it, but you're going to potentially go a bit too deep because it depends how fast you do Ascari behind, you know. That's really critical in terms of the braking point on this corner. So do vary your braking distance accordingly, depending on how well you do Ascari behind. As we go through here, notice how it's bouncing the car. And one speed I want you to keep in mind is 70 miles an hour. So Parabolica, try and maintain 70 miles an hour, and you're looking for the orange painted barrier there. When you see that, start to accelerate. You may start to understeer, so just lift a little bit if you do start to understeer, but I'm using that as my acceleration marker, and as you can see there, we make the corner absolutely fine, and we're going to head towards the line. That 70 miles an hour target you can use on a few corners, and I'll explain it as we go onto the pad lap in a second. 150.9, so if you look for that on the leaderboard, you'll see my lap there, and you can follow this ghost. We jump onto the pad lap then, just to show it's possible. So the White Van Man on the left-hand side, hard on the brakes here as we drop towards 1st gear. As we come into here, cut a lot of the inside if you can. Over towards the left, just avoid the sausage a little bit there and get on the throttle very early. You notice how aggressive I was there. You can see I'm on the pad as well with the joltiness as I'm trying to control the little bit of a slide that can happen and will happen to you as well. Flat out through the Curva Grande then, and literally, again, flat out on a pad. Shows you there's no real understeer issues there. 200 board is what we're looking for here as we go on the brakes. Braking early, and we want to use and abuse as much of the left as we can. Straight up on the right a little bit there and continue on out. If you do clip the gravel, just keep your foot to the floor. It shouldn't lose too much time. Gap in the trees on the right side is your brake marker. As we go into here, this is a 70 miles an hour corner where you're trying to maintain 70. Notice I maintain 72 there. So 70 is possible. This corner, the tree on the right side, second to last one. Again, 70 miles an hour through the corner. 70 is a very critical speed in this car where you can really get through a corner and it will give you a lot of lap time. So just keep it in mind. 70 miles an hour on both the Lesmos, the Parabolica. Let's see what we do at Ascari then. So the 200 board is what we're looking for here as we go on the brakes then. And we're going to go to second gear. And do we short shift to third? We're staying in second a bit longer. There we go. Short shift to third now. And notice because we delayed it a little bit, went a little bit wrong. However, on the exit is the one place I found the pad to struggle a little bit at Ascari. And I did struggle each and every lap. Even so, we're in the 51s here, which is well below the gold estimate that I've put. 150 board on the right side, there it is. Hit the brakes as we go into this corner, and as we go in, you know, just went a little bit deep. That's what I was talking about, where you use the 150 board. Looking for that orange painted barrier to accelerate out of the corner. We head towards the line. I think this pad lap is a 151.4, and guess what? You can follow this ghost as well on the leaderboard if you look for it. If you're a pad user and you want to see if you can improve, chase my ghost, beat my ghost, and happy days. I reckon the pad can actually compete with the wheel at this one, if I'm honest with you, as most of my sectors were the same at some point. So white van man on the left hand side here as we go on the brakes. ABS is on default. You can see that there on the left hand side for those that do wonder about that setting. And look how aggressive we are on the throttle there as we come out of turn one. Give a Grande flat, and remember, just turn in, try and keep it nice and tight, stay on the racing line here, and you want to stay towards the right hand side for the next chicane. And we're looking for the 200 board. So you have a 300 board there, very well obvious. That's the 200 board, braking just before we get to that. And let's have a look at how much abuse we do here. So you notice we're cutting a lot there. We're staying on the red, white and green curbing. And as long as you do that, you won't get track limits. The gap in the trees on the right side, on the brakes, in we go. And we'll look for the orange painted barrier. There it is. Start accelerating as we continue on through there. There's a gap here. Then there's a second to last tree there on the brakes. And we're going to turn in, maintain 70 miles an hour if you can. A bit under there. So there's some improvements that could be done to this lap. I wanted to get you this time trial guide as quick as possible. You may see my record improve on the thumbnail, of course, as I do put my current record on that thumbnail. Going to head towards the Ascari then. On the right side, the 200 board there is our brake marker. We dropped to second gear. We cut a lot of the inside up to third gear, trying to keep the car nice and stable and trying to give us, well, open up the last part of Ascari here, really allow us to straighten up the car and accelerate through the corner in that third gear. We're going to head towards Parabolica then. We can breathe a little bit here. We're not looking for that 150 board. If you want to play it safe, brake just before the 150 board. If you want to play the risk game, brake on it. So as we go into here then, we're slowing the car down. We release the brakes there and let the car roll a little bit, trying to maintain 70 miles an hour. Look for the orange painted barrier. Off we go with the acceleration. We're going to head towards the line then. And once again, that is a 150.9, which you can chase as well on the leaderboard. Just look for the lap and it should be there. If I improve, it may go up on the leaderboard. I may jump on it later on today. We'll see how work goes. That's going to be it in terms of this Monza guide then. So remember, brake early, accelerate through the corner, and you should be fine in terms of getting gold. I quite enjoy this one, if I'm honest with you. Nice bit of car control there. It gives you a bit of understanding of braking and accelerating in this Lamborghini. And I'd argue it actually drives how I would expect it to drive as well. If you enjoyed this video, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content. That's going to be it for me, though, here at Monza in the Lamborghini Murcielago LP 640. Do check out those two videos there, and do check out the partners down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.